Hello there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to another TGIF Talks, episode 63, or is it 62? Do you remember which one it is? I don't know why I can't remember these things anymore. I've gone full cycle with my ability to remember when things are. I think it's 62. It is 62, yes, not 63. Wish it were 63. I am joined by my co-host, Anonymous Phil.
Hello?
And Corona Kyle.
Hey.
Will's not here, and we'll get into that after the intro. So let me pull up
What a shame.
Google thing here and roll the intro.
Wouldn't you like to get away?
It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday.
And they're always glad you came.
Oh, that was that. Wow. What a... Oh, okay. What's going on here? Conference room, there we go. Oh, Jesus. So, these podcasts are broken down into 4 parts. First, we have how our weeks have been, followed by the Corona news, followed by your comments. And then today's 4th random segment is going to be future of the channel as things are starting to warm up here in the Northern Hemisphere. Life becomes easier and things become easier in theory. Anyways, so does everybody want to know what happened to Will today?
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
What's your quick question?
We are 1 year into this pandemic, and you decided that now's the good time to go virtual.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, for one thing, I have the ability to go virtual more easily. And second, the weather and the roads got so damn bad, I did not want to leave my house. And now,
The weather
as the weather is getting better, the gas prices have skyrocketed, and now I don't want to drive. Now it's like, I can't afford to drive anywhere. Not that it was too cold or too crappy. Now the gas is too expensive.
Yeah, it's too cold to go anywhere. Now it's too nice and the gas is too high. It
Yeah.
can never get it
I
right.
can't. Like, today I'm like, I probably went home for the last time for the next several months because the gas is too high. Gas is too much. It's too much. I can't. It's almost $3. That's outrageous. I'm sure everybody's in California is like, oh, you guys. It's like, listen, the highest I've seen gas since I started paying for gas is $2.60. Gas is now $2.70. All right? It's too high for me. So,
Yep. Agreed.
I don't want to deal with it. I'm tired of it. So yeah, I can't wait for this $25,000 Tesla because the minute I get a better job, every single dime I don't spend on food and gas and bills is going towards a Tesla.
How much does it cost to refill a Tesla?
It's fractions on the dollar compared to gas.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Because I know that you have to sit and wait for 20 minutes or whatever for it to charge, but let's just see how much it actually costs.
Well, that doesn't bother me because I'm just gonna charge it up at home, drive to work, go to work, do my errands after work, and then go home. If I'm going on a road trip, okay, yeah, I'm going on a road trip, then I'll have to worry. But for the majority of my life, I won't have to worry. And they get better mileage.
Wait, can you plug it into hold up, can you plug it into a normal 220 volt outlet?
No. You have to have...
What do you plug it into?
So you have to, have you ever been on a farm and seen those generator inputs? Or does your dad have a generator input at your house?
I don't think so.
Well, it's just big plug-in. It's also used for shop equipment like a lathe.
Oh, I bet he has one of those in the shed.
Yeah, or maybe the oven might plug into a big one like this. I don't know if it's the same.
Oh, yeah, you're right, the oven.
It's one of those. I think they're like 440 or something. They're really big.
Because there's like your 120 outlet that you plug in like an appliance,
Yeah.
and there's like the 220. Oh yeah, actually we do have one of those. I think we have like two of them in the garage.
Yeah, but those are probably
Because like
for
can
generator
do,
inputs. So they're going to be
yeah.
inputting power, not taking power out.
Yeah, they're huge outlets. Yeah.
Yeah, so you need one of those. And that's no big deal. You just tell them, you just pay an electrician probably, what, $500 to probably install that, and you're good to go.
Yep. Hey, can I install that in my apartment?
No.
Would that void my lease?
Probably. Just you're outside, hammering into the concrete. What are you doing there? Installing a power station for my car.
Oh, okay, you're good. Have a nice day.
Yeah, no big deal there. Just,
Nope, not at all.
just, hey, I'm trying to sleep. Ah, screw you.
Whoa, why am I doing it at 2 in the morning?
That's when I would do it. That's when you're not busy.
Oh. No,
That's
I'm
when you
doing
have your
middle
most.
of the day, 11 a.m.
That's when you have your most motivation is 2 a.m. Nobody has motivation during the day to get anything like that done.
That is true.
Like at 11 a.m., like at like 2 a.m., right? You're like, I'm going to start dieting, I'm going to exercise. You can do all these things. You have all these ideas.
You go to bed, wake up in the morning, forget that.
12 p.m. the next day rolls around. You're thinking about what you're going to have for lunch, and you're like, a Snickers sounds pretty good right now. And then it all goes to waste.
Yeah, facts. That is true.
Welcome to humanity.
Ooh, this meat is sounding
I am
nice.
eating my chicken, by the way. If you don't know what the hell I'm doing here, I'm eating just the way the timing's rolled up with the live stream.
This hamburger is done nice.
So, Will today, alright, the schmuck doubled back on him. Did you see that? I mean, did you read the Snapchats?
No? I didn't open up.
He was
my
like,
today.
I didn't say anything about agreeing to a podcast today at 7:30. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yes!
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, I'm like, I distinctly remember sending a text out, was it like Thursday, saying, hey, 7:30 for podcast? And he's like, yeah. And then I was like, okay, how about everybody else? And
You need to save that in the chat next time.
I do. And so, like...
Save that in the chat. Because I know for a fact you did.
So, yeah, I said that to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I did say that. I'm like, you're an idiot. So since he's not here with us...
So what is he doing?
I don't even know. I was told he had some FFA thing, but I don't know what he's doing now. I couldn't tell you. So, now that he's not here, do we put him on probation again?
No, because it's so much better with all of us.
Yeah, and everybody...
All four of us.
He is a fan favorite. The fans do like him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Oh no, I knew it from the start.
You don't join us enough to be considered one.
That's because I work too much.
I blame the man. You slave away for the man too much.
My managers are females, so...
No. Society is the man. Humankind is the man.
Okay.
Oh, I
guess probably a more PC way would be like the person. But like when you're talking about the man and sticking it to the man, saying man just works better. Because like I'm going to stick it to the woman. That just sounds sexist. I'm going to stick it to the person. Who are you talking about? When you say the man, everybody's like, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep. Wait, Trump?
I mean, I guess, if you want. I was thinking literally like any big corporate thing.
Oh.
But by the way, any big corporations that want to hire me, I will take it. However, if any big corporations watching this, I will take a sponsorship or just a job.
Phil, what are you doing? Are you like throwing plates?
I'm grabbing dishes to put my taco stuff on.
God, you're loud.
And I'm in the dishwasher.
Cooking is not a quiet process.
I'm not a quiet chef. I'm sure the people upstairs, 3 floors up, can hear me.
Okay, so yeah. So how have you been? It's been a while.
Hell.
Well, enlighten us.
So I don't particularly enjoy my classes this semester. There's probably like
Is
maybe
this the linguistics class?
I don't mind that class. We're actually doing something that's kind of fun.
Artemis?
There's only like one class that I actually enjoy, and that's because my professor is like the same age as all of us, so it's actually enjoyable.
That doesn't sound like a good combination.
It's really fun. Let's see. I work too much. Oh yeah, well, I get night terrors, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so most of the time, my night terrors are physical harm itself, like where I would wake up with blood all over my arms or my legs
Yeah,
sometimes.
I've
Wait,
been
are you
telling you.
serious?
I've been telling you to
Yeah,
see a doctor.
You might want to get that checked out.
I've woken up with like this really. I still have the scar from it. I could show you next time we meet.
You woke up with a scar?
Yeah, well, I didn't wake up with a scar when I woke up. I woke up with a bunch of blood.
Yeah. That's not how that works. Can you imagine just waking up with a scar? Just like, wait a minute.
I woke up the next morning
In
with a big
the
old
time
scar.
I went
Yeah.
to bed and woke up, I managed to get a cut deep enough that my body couldn't fully heal it, but yet it did manage to heal it, and now I have scar tissue left there. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
that would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying. It'd be cool.
That is definition of a night terror.
Because that'd be cool. Because then you'd be like all the girls, like, yeah, I got a scar. I was like, oh, how'd you get it? I don't even know. Like, oh, that's
I went to bed.
I went to bed. I'm that
I went to
hardcore.
bed.
I'm that hardcore,
Oh.
baby.
Yeah,
No, it was like, yeah, I slept for 8 hours. Well, you bad boy.
You got that recommended amount of sleep. Oh.
Oh, you're a dangerous one, aren't you?
anyway, so this was different. So Wednesday night, I had my first experience of sleep paralysis.
Did you have the sleep paralysis demon?
And for those who are watching, sleep paralysis basically when your body goes into a temporary state of paralysis, or like where you are unable to move, yet you are still consciously aware in a sense. So I woke up and I can't move my legs, can't move my arms, can't move anything but my head. And I remember I could move my fingers, and even that was painful to do. And I don't know if it's here, but when I was in the state, I heard a light knock on the door. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's my dog who wants in my room. But when my dog knocks on my door, it's a lot more aggressive and more scratchy sounding because of his paws. This was like a human knocking on my door, like lightly knocking on the door. And I can't get up because I'm in a state of paralysis. And I just lie there. And all of a sudden, like maybe half a second later, after this light knocking on my door, the whole entire room erupts in like a furious knocking, banging on my wall for like the next minute. Where like my whole entire room is just being knocked.
Great movie.
So that was not fun.
I really
And-
think you
and I
should see a
woke
doctor.
I woke up the next day and just absolute soreness.
Jesus Christ.
My legs were so sore from it. Because you're not supposed to try to get out of it
Mhm.
through like force yourself. You have to like ease the body with breathing techniques. If you try to force yourself to wake up with like body movements, you're gonna like be sore the next day.
Well,
So that was not fun.
Well, I don't know.
well, are you gonna finally start and try and see a doctor like we've been telling you for the past like year and a half ever since you told us about the
Hell
night
no.
terrors?
Hell no.
Why not?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Another fun story. Yeah. Wow, you missed a lot.
You
One of my
haven't been
co
on in like 2 months, maybe 3. It's been like a whole quarter.
yeah, you said bring some interesting stories to the table, and I got some.
Well, I'm
Um,
glad because this makes this segment worth it.
let's see. 2 weeks ago, Phil, I think you know, but one of my coworkers, she works for the Catholic schools in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
She works for one of the elementary schools, and it was snowing. It was Sunday morning, so it's just us two and somebody else. And I go up to her and I was like, "Hey, can I go outside and make a snow angel?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Why?" "Because you're far from what any angel actually is."
Jesus.
And I'm like, "Holy crap!" And I'm
Snow
just
devil
laughing.
then?
And she said, "There's this old movie where this old movie or book or TV series where the town sacrifices this child to the devil when he comes to town. And that's what we're going to do to you when the devil comes. Because I bet you it's going to be because of you." I'm like, "Okay, I'm down."
Sign me up.
Where do I sign the form?
So you're the next Antichrist as predicted by Nostradamus.
Apparently.
Yes.
And we just have these type of conversations all the time. And we just joke. She's not one of those like strict Catholic teachers you think that she would be. She's not. She's like has a really funny sense of humor with stuff, and you can actually joke about that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
The
Well,
devil is one thing that it's always okay to joke about.
well,
And Phil, you'll get a kicker out of this. So she's an elementary student. She's an elementary teacher, so she teaches all the subjects, and she was talking about science and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, do you guys teach creationalism or evolutionism?" And she said, "We teach the real science." And I'm like, "What's that?" And she says, "Creationalism." I'm like, "Okay."
I see. That's the problem. So everybody's like, "Oh, private schools are great." Blah 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 blah. Private schools are an abomination. There's no standardization. I hate to break it to you, but science is all about standardization. That's the beauty of science. And so when it comes to, I could go on and on and on about public education and why I don't care how crappy the public schools are in your area. Send your kids there.
Yeah.
You pay for it. Use the damn resource. If you have extra money, then freaking just spend it on your kid's lunch or like donate to the school. Something.
Yeah, give him a nice lunch.
No, like
Yeah.
I mean,
He
like
needs to be the cool kid
yeah,
Most
in the lunchroom.
the kid that brings a
most people
T-bone
who are
steak.
raised-
Wait, what?
Yeah, most
He needs to
people who
be
are
the
raised
kid that
like
brings
that.
like Valentinos to lunch.
No, not screw Valentino's T-bone
Swear
steak.
to God. Okay, most people who are raised in the Catholic or private system are taught creationalism. But like, I talked to another one of my coworkers. He went to school, and she said she believes creationalism was the foundation. The evolutionism slash Darwinism took hold shortly after
Yeah.
humans gained sentient consciousness.
Yeah, that's what I believe.
That's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
theory. I
That's literally what we believe too.
And like that's what I don't know. I'm more agnostic at this point. I strayed so far away. I need an exorcism at this point instead of a confession.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just
Can we do this for a
anyway.
video?
Oh,
Yeah.
every 1 million. Instead of me eating like sour candy Corona Kyle gets an exorcism.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes!
prefer exorcism over confession.
Ooh.
Yes,
Can we go
I'm
bring
down. I'm down. For that video, okay, so if you guys don't know, there's this video idea I've been playing in my head. I'm not going to say what it is, but when it hits a certain markage, we do these events, and that would be his event. That makes that a lot better.
Corona
I'm gonna refill that. I'm gonna refilm that video. I kind of
Alright, I'm done.
Oh,
because
good.
I think I said spicy food or getting tased.
Make sure
I'd
you're
rather have
horizontal.
I'd rather have an exorcism at this point. That
I
would be
finished.
fun.
Look at my
Just
big
have
old layout.
all that stuff just laying out. That's
Are
ridiculous.
you trying to sponsor me? Hy-Vee is
I'm sponsoring tacos.
A
Hy-Vee's
sponsoring.
not. Get that name brand out of here. They're not a sponsor.
I wish we were sponsored. Hey, Mission Tortillas, will you sponsor us? You'll have to pay for the beef for the tacos, but that's all right. That
wait.
doesn't cost too much. Actually, I
think
bought
that'll
some corned beef today.
I think that's a good video idea.
It
Corona
w-
Kyle gets them.
well, okay, yeah, that'll be for the million. That'll be for that video. I'll have to make a note. Let me write that down. So now it's Phil's turn to talk about his week while I write this down.
Well, I had a crazy week. Or more or less a crazy day. Friday pretty much sums up my entire week. Because not much really happened between Monday and Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Well, explain. Yeah. Tell us what happened.
Well, my roommate tested positive for Rona.
See, this is now. I see. I heard that over the little where you guys were talking. I'm like, does somebody have corona? So I'm like,
See,
Yeah,
everyone's
this
getting
is
Corona
genius.
except for Corona Kyle.
So I'm now quarantined for 2 weeks. I can't go to work or anything, so
oh,
can't go to class. So stuck here.
yeah. Well, how did he get caught during the random test or he developed symptoms?
He had symptoms, but it's because he was seeing some girl who had it.
Damn.
He
thoughts.
literally he had a girl over on Tuesday, and she texted him like Thursday saying, "Yeah, I'm positive."
That's the new STD. Damn thoughts. I tell you, men.
Oh, my hot sauce.
Men. I'm okay. Listen, we need women. All right. It's.
If you're gonna say
it's-
something sexist, I'm gonna mute you. You're
No.
my champ.
No. We need women, and that it's just biological, right? If we want to reproduce, and if they want to reproduce, they need us. We need them. However,
Can he talk without hot sauce?
I can. However,
I can't.
in this case, if you're dating a hoe, leave that hoe on the corner. Okay?
Oh my god.
All right?
You're being
It-
coronavirus and STD.
I am going to compare it. Because it's a lot of people get it from their hoe.
Well, isn't it gonna be wasn't it gonna be like a law or mandate somewhere where like you know how you could sue somebody if they don't tell you that they have an STD and you have sex with them and you end up developing an STD but they never told you, you could sue them?
Yeah, but how are you supposed to know if they found out later?
Mm.
See, that's why making laws about diseases and how you get said diseases and when you get said diseases is difficult. But anyways, yeah. Believe that hoe. Okay? She clearly is not going to be the one you're going to marry. I hate to break it to you because if she gave you corona...
She's the one.
no.
She's the one.
Cut that at the waist, I tell you. Cut it at the waist. Cut it now before it kills you. Wait, you already got corona. It might. Ho-ho! Look at that euphemism if I ever heard one. Anyways, we love women here, okay? Women should definitely be in the workforce. Actually, interesting thing. But this will be for the next segment. I'll share that stat later. Women workforce. Okay. So, okay. So, obviously Kyle's having a very stressful semester. I'm having a very stressful semester. Phil, you're taking the least amount of credits out of any person I know. And I know actually all of my roommates are having a relatively stressful semester.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Mine's
having
very stressful too.
How is yours stressful? What's causing the stress if we exclude the last week when your roommate got the Rona?
How was it stressful?
Well, I mean, like, this last week was absolute hell. And the hell only continues Monday. So, why has yours been especially stressful compared to previous semesters? Because this has been my hardest semester yet.
I mean, it is stressful, but I mean, it's not as stressful as previous semesters. The reason
Oh,
why it's a little stressful because it was rather unproductive the first 2 weeks of school. So I'm just kind of playing catch up and trying to, get back into the routine of things.
yeah, the first
That
2 weeks.
that 2 month break really killed me.
Yeah,
So we had 2 months of no school. I was so unproductive. Like I didn't want to do anything.
the 2 months. It wasn't long enough to like get us like it wasn't long enough to the point where like at the end of it we're like, okay, school's coming up soon, we got to get into it. But it wasn't short enough to where our brains didn't have enough time to turn off. Our brains were in like full shut off mode when we got like snapped back out of it. And it those first 2 weeks were really rough. And then starting online of all things, oh my god. Let me tell you, I had this assignment, all right? I had to copy and paste over 440 data points from Google into Excel.
Oh yeah, I saw that story.
And that was just for one graph. I had to make another not a graph, another like chart that had another like 200 data points or something stupid. So this assignment, I don't know how many assignments there are going to be. So we've had 2 assignments, and it's the end of week 5. So we can extrapolate from there that if there's 2 assignments per every 5 weeks, that gives me about 6 assignments, maybe only 5, because, with finals that last week, maybe he won't give an assignment. I doubt it. But that's 6 assignments. And each 5 to 6 assignments. Let's go 5 assignments. And each one of those takes 24 hours of straight working. I kid you not. If you add up all the hours I worked on this last assignment, I bet you it's close to 24 hours.
Oh.
Maybe 12, I guess. 24 is probably an over-exaggeration. It's at least 12 hours of solid just working. It's horrendous. And 3 of those were spent just copying and pasting damn data points. Maybe, actually, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Half of that was spent copying and pasting data points. 6 hours of my life just doing this.
Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V.
Yeah, because you couldn't highlight a column, highlight a row, and then go and paste it into a whole row on Excel. Excel doesn't recognize that, and so you have to just go copy one at a time. I had to have data points from 1962 to 2025. There were 7 different categories, okay, and that was every single year.
What sort of trends did you find?
Nothing I didn't already know, because it's all stuff I've already looked at. So I was just like, oh my god. I was done. And so,
was there these were data points for what?
they were the U.S.'s budget, and so it was the different categories.
Oh
of
yeah,
the
hey,
budget.
what happened during the Clinton administration? Wasn't there we started paying off our debt or something?
Yeah, nothing really changed.
Oh, because I thought, wasn't it like we had our GDP was larger than our debt for the year, and so we started paying back or something?
No, he balanced the budget. He managed to actually cut enough stuff or used tax money to a point where we didn't deficit spending. Actually, fun fact about deficit spending. The US gives 1.2 1.2, $1.3 trillion in tax returns.
Really?
1.3. Guess how much debt? Oh, this was 2019 before Corona. Guess how much debt financing the U.S. did?
Oh, there's a storm.
Yeah, I
I should
hear.
have counted that. I saw a flash of lightning, and then there was thunder like 10 seconds later.
Really, it's raining. Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's raining where I am.
I have to
Okay,
probably close my window.
okay, but answer the question first, though. How much in 2019? How much do you think the U.S. spent on how much debt financing we had to do? How much debt did we build?
In 1980,
No, in 2019.
how much debt do we have?
Did we build? Like, how much over the budget did we spend?
Oh, $3 trillion.
$998 billion.
Wow.
We spent.
I was a little off.
We gave so many tax returns out. And this happens literally every year. We give more tax returns out than we should. And that was just normal income tax. That wasn't corporate income tax.
Mm-hmm.
And there's and the biggest contributors to this, they're only like $200 billion, but still $200 billion, are capital gains taxes on natural resources. That includes agriculture, so I can exclude it for giving it to farmers. But to be fair, farmers are now a part of the 10%, so I'm not really too concerned about them at this point in age, especially after 2021. They're freaking rich. Corn prices are so damn high. So I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure the ones that went out of business because they couldn't sell their beef are kicking themselves because, well, their corn is now worth a crap ton of money for no reason. There's literally all these prices. Oil, I guess oil went up, but it shouldn't have gone up this much. Oil went up. Corn went up. All these prices are going up for literally no reason. The economy is doing this. It's going into a nosedive. The stocks are, anyways. The economy is kind of crawling back to life. Not really. It's kind of just like, slowly plunging itself in. The country is worse off now than it's ever been. And you can say, oh, Biden did that. Yes and no. Biden caused the oil prices to spike because he killed the Keystone XL pipeline. But that should not have caused oil prices to skyrocket this much because you may think, oh, they stopped oil production. Well, actually, we did. We were only importing oil, so I guess that would explain. But just killing the Keystone XL pipeline does not just cause that. Anyways, so the U.S., so if you got rid of those, that's $200 billion. That's $200 billion we could put back into, the budget to pay off to not have a debt. Okay. There was also another $200 billion or $100 billion or something ridiculous to employers for providing insurance, medical insurance. I'm like, if you just had universal health care, you wouldn't have to do that. Anyways, I could go on and on and on about that.
I wanted to ask, I'm sure this is probably a really simple economics question, but why is inflation good for the economy?
So inflation isn't always good for the economy. In this case,
In which scenarios could it be good?
right now, inflation would be fantastic. So when you calculate,
So
when you calculate the formula for GDP, inflation is in there, and inflation, if everything else is crap, can actually really get an economy up and going because inflation. It's not an easy question. It's a complicated question. It involves macroeconomic theory that I don't remember. Basically, inflation in this case would just kind of kick things into gear. Basically, the Federal Reserve, what it could do right now, causing a large amount of inflation right now, not too much, just the right amount of inflation, could be very good. Printing money and getting people to spend that money. That's the key word there. You can print money and cause inflation, but if they don't spend that money, it's not good. That's bad inflation. Good inflation is if they spend that money. So in this case, if the Federal Reserve printed a bunch of money and then told people, here, you can have the money if you spend it. But the problem with that is middle income and high income people are going to spend it on their bills for the month and then save the money that they didn't have to spend on their bills. Well, that defeats the purpose of the money. Low-income people will actually spend the money because A, they need to pay for the bills, B, they want luxury goods because they can't afford luxury goods. They will pay for credit cards. They will do all kinds of things with it. Giving money to low-income people, which I know a lot of people don't like to do, and it's like, oh, it's their handouts, is good. They need it. Yes, there are some people that are a waste and they're just a drain on the system, but I did this example the other day. So there are people that the economy that we pay for to sit at home and do nothing.
We should just give all the money, to Mr. Beast and let Mr. Beast do something with it.
Oh, no. Anyways, so
let his imagination run wild. I'm sure he could spend every last dollar.
I'm sure he could. So if we there are people in the world, in the U.S., that we pay to have them sit at home. We pay to keep them on meds. We pay them to just basically sit at home. Anything, well, that's a waste. However,
that's what food stamps are, right?
No.
Oh.
However,
they pay you to get groceries. However,
if you can't afford groceries, or you're one of these people that sit at home. But it's a good thing these people sit at home. It's cheaper to keep them on welfare than it is to put them in prison. It's also cheaper to keep them on welfare than it is to let them run amongst the general population. Because when they start to run amongst the general population, say somebody who needs psych meds but can't afford psych meds because he's psychotic and can't hold a job. Okay? But we don't want to lock him in a mental institution because that's too expensive. So we just pay for his meds. Well, say we didn't pay for his meds. Now he's going off and doing crazy, stupid stuff. He's crashing cars, doing all kinds of things, racking up this bill. Say he crashes into a gas station and causes it to explode. Okay? Let's say a gas station earns $100,000 per month. $100,000 per month. And a gas station costs, let's say $150,000, maybe $250,000 to repair. That is $1.45 million that the government, or not even the government, that business or people have to pay for because we didn't spend the few $100s it was to keep him on drugs for the year. You see the math? No matter what people say, like, oh, they're waste, it is cheaper to keep them on government payroll, not government payroll, on welfare and that kind of stuff, than it is to let them run amongst. It's cheaper for society as a whole.
Well, I also want to follow up.
Talking about that. The thunder. Don't throw that back there now. I gotta clean that up.
No, I had a follow-up question, though.
Yeah.
So, this inflation, you have people go out, you want them to stimulate the economy by making purchases. Does that devalue our dollar?
I mean, extra money in the economy from printing, it can. However, it depends on... See, devaluing the dollar is an interesting concept because it's relative to what country. It depends on how much the U.S. trades with another country. So, like, right now, the U.S. dollar is strong compared to the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar...
But can't you compare our dollar to previous years? Like, in previous years, 40 cents you could go buy a movie.
Yes and no. It's hard to compare one year to the next because you have to have a baseline and then you have to keep track of it. It's difficult. Comparing into years past is very difficult. If you ever sit through intermediate macroeconomics, we talk about this. It's very difficult to compare the economy one year to the next because everything changes, and you have to have a baseline at some point so you can calculate for inflation. Yes, it will devalue the dollar, but that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything?
No, because all it would take is for the federal, because the U.S. establishes what the value of the dollar is. The market establishes what the value of the dollar is. It's not like gold backed, so it's not bound by anything. That's why it can go really sky high and be worth. That's why it can be worth nothing or it can be worth a lot. And so, like right now, the U.S. dollar is very strong compared to Canada, though. The Canadian, I remember when the Canadian dollar was worth $1.05. It's now worth only 70 cents. Because, like, I was watching Linus today, and he was like, after we converted our Canadian dollars to U.S. dollars, I was like, oh, they probably got a good deal on that. And then I went and did the math. I'm like, oh, they got screwed. Usually they end up on top. They got screwed. And so, like, them coming to America is interesting. I would love to see a cost price thing. Because prices in Canada are more expensive than in the U.S. But their money is worth less in the United States. In previous years, it would be worth to come to the United States because their money's worth more. But now that it's worth less, I wonder if it's worth so much less if it's not more beneficial for them to buy in their own country than it would be to come to the U.S. because their money's
So
worth
is it
that
beneficial for me to go from the U.S. to a country like Zimbabwe? Would I be like the richest man there?
much. It won't be the richest man. There are a lot of rich people in poor countries. It's awful.
Could I live a decent life?
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, you don't have enough money to really do much with it. But I mean, if you got paid, so if you got paid by an American company, say a modest budget here in the U.S., $60,000. I that doesn't sound modest. The average GDP per capita is $60,000. The average wage is only $30,000. So he's earning at GDP, which is twice of what normal people earn.
Yeah, see, it probably I'd make a Zimbabwe wage. Because I don't know how you could have a job where I get paid U.S. salary and live in another country. It'd probably be like I get the other. What kind of job would that be?
Doctors Without Borders. Those guys usually don't get paid. Or like if you're a marketing person, or if you live in the or if you work at the embassy.
Oh yeah, that might work. Yeah.
You would be rich. $60,000 modest is it's a modest budget here in the United States. You can, depending where you live, you're pretty well off. Where we live, $60,000, that ain't bad. Ain't bad. Depending on where you live in the city, of course. If you live outside the city, if you live in the suburbs, $60,000, not too bad. At least in our neighborhood, $60,000 would be very good. My manager makes $60,000.
It's funny you bring $60,000 up. My roommate is dropping out of college because he makes $60,000 a year.
That's a horrible idea because you can always make more.
I know. He could literally make more, but he's like, yeah, no, I'm not really interested in he's a freshman. He's like, I don't really want to go to school. I guess,
but it's going to regret it.
Yeah.
Although we're all going to regret our jobs anyways. Well, at least some of us might. I might not. Just because as long as there's an economy, there need economists. So as long as there's society, I have a job.
Now we're gonna go to John Locke Society about a few years.
Please, no.
Henry paid for himself.